Hello, my name is Austin South, and today I'll be sharing my experience as a mechanical engineering co-op with General Dynamics Mission Systems. I hope to give a comprehensive summary of the work contributions I made during the summer and fall of 2021 in my first industry experience as an engineer. I will also be getting into how I think this experience has shaped my future career and why I think that co-oping is worth the investment. Over the 7 months that I was employed, I was exposed to a wide variety of engineering groups and gained insight into how engineering teams operate on the industrial scale. I had three main areas that I was able to contribute during this time, including setting up and maintaining the camera systems for test analysis. I was able to design and build a launching stage for the testing that was going on at my facility. And I also was able to directly support that testing through a variety of mechanical engineering tasks and day-to-day things that were necessary for the operation of the company. On my first day, I got put on a project that really tested my perseverance and forced me to learn about IP networking and large-scale camera systems, which I had never worked with before. But setting up and maintaining these camera systems was vital for reviewing the testing we were doing and learning about where the design needed to be improved and how we could do that based upon instant review of the mechanical tests that were going on. The testing facility where I worked had tandem tests going on simultaneously, which became an issue when trying to move a single camera system with 16 cameras in various locations back and forth to try to document and analyze each test that we were doing with minimal downtime. There were so many lessons learned as I tried to acquire and implement a second camera system for my facility. In an area where wireless signals are not allowed, it became necessary to use creative methods to solve the problems that come with starting up a new system and implementing it on a networked LAN. And as a mechanical engineer, that was a little bit out of my area of expertise, perhaps out of my comfort zone, but working through that really taught me about what it's like to work at a company and what it's like to need to ask for help and to work on a team where everyone is willing to help you. In the end, the two systems that we finally got working simultaneously became invaluable tools for analyzing our tests and discovering where the shortcomings of our design could be found in real time. In addition to using the test footage we obtained to study our mechanical systems, I also had the opportunity to edit that footage into a presentation video that was used for the CDR, or Critical Design Review, for our division. Having the company trust me enough to display my work for our customers as part of a critical phase in the engineering process was incredibly fulfilling. We passed that successfully and moved on to the next engineering phase, which was a huge milestone for our team. Another project I worked on was the construction of a 60-foot long, 5-foot high test platform that we used consistently for multiple months during system testing. After designing the stage, I was trusted with leading a small team in its construction, which gave me the opportunity to practice some servant leadership techniques. One of the qualifying methods we used to determine if our mechanical design was working properly was SRS, which is shock response spectrum data. I did not think that I would be using my Dynamics 2 theory and practice so quickly as an engineer, but on the first day, what I had learned in class quickly became useful. I was constantly impressed with how willing everyone at GD was in letting me get hands-on with projects. Near the end of my stint, I got hands-on with a physical hydraulic rebuild of one of the systems we were testing. And it was really cool to see how these Creo drawings, these SolidWorks drawings of how the hydraulic system should work, translated to the real fittings and the hoses and the pumps of what was going on in the system. And I was able to get hands-on with trying to read the drawings and physically get the right length hoses, and that process really taught me, I think, the most that I've ever learned about how design is important, but design supports construction. And if you think that your design is clear, it's important to run it by your coworkers, run it by some other people that maybe run it by the technicians that will be actually building it, because sometimes things that seem obvious to the designer are not obvious to who has to actually take the design and build it. And I think that was a really interesting and important lesson for me to learn. I want to take a few minutes and talk about how I grew from this co-op experience and what I learned through the process. When I was initially contacted for an interview, we were discussing some of the details about how the co-op would really work. I was very hesitant because I was under the impression that delaying graduation is the end of the world to be avoided at all costs. But I was going to, listen to it and hear the options that they presented, see if it had some merit for what I wanted to do. And I finally decided to take the risk and do the fall and summer co-op because I wanted to graduate having had experience. And through COVID and my other internships, I never really got into industry. I had a little bit of research, I had a little bit of some international travel, but I had never gained industry experience in engineering. And I think that's what solidified the choice for me, deciding to go do a co-op instead of going back to school that fall. And I think that was perhaps the best decision I could have made. I didn't realize it at the time, but the knowledge that I gained in that extended period, that 7 months of working, was so much more than I would have gained just during the first 3 months if I had done a summer internship, or even just if I had done an internship at a different company. I gained so much crucial information about what I did enjoy, what I didn't enjoy, what I want to do with my career, and it was an incredible experience that I would highly recommend. Not only just because that experience is important, but also because learning what you want to do is important. And I know I'm very confident that had I not done this co-op, I would still be confused about what jobs I would like to apply for, which industries I would like to go into. And through my experience at GD, I learned that there are so many options for engineers, way more than I thought even existed. I know a lot of my classes focus on design as a mechanical engineer, but design is just one of hundreds of different areas of engineering that are vitally important and are something that a mechanical engineer could do. And I think that just networking, learning from my colleagues, my fellow employees, learning from their experience in the industry really made this experience so much more than just an internship where I work on the side and get a little bit of money or something like that. I would like to give just a few more points why I think doing a co-op is incredibly worth it. My main hesitation was delaying graduation, which in retrospect, breaking up that fall, spring school year, where that long period of time working really hard on school, I get very burnt out in that process, and having a co-op that lets you have a relaxing yourself to an industry pace instead of the school pace was really beneficial for me to break that up. And also the idea that you're missing out on your salary after you would graduate, I think is not completely valid because you're getting paid to do the co-op. Many engineering co-ops pay you very well, and that pay offsets that opportunity cost and gives you a chance to, upon graduation, most will give you a full-time job offer. And that saves you the time of searching for a job during senior year and being stressed, and even gives you the idea that you can have a job directly after graduation, which is not necessarily true if you haven't been applying during the school year. And I think in addition to that, the networking opportunities you get and the idea that after 3 months, you've just gotten your feet on the ground, a summer internship, you don't really get a taste of the job. Whereas with an industry co-op, you get that 3 months to set up, and then you get to really experience what this job would be like as a full-time job. So you can save time by not applying to jobs you wouldn't like, and you would have to go through a year, maybe 2-year process of getting that full-time job, experiencing it, and then maybe having to search elsewhere and wasting more time instead of just doing the co-op that would give you that answer to that question before you even graduate. In conclusion, I am glad I did my co-op with General Dynamics. I got hands-on experience. I learned so much about how engineering processes work and what it's like to be an engineer at a company working full-time. And I think the insight I gained as to what I want to do with my future career is invaluable, and I would highly recommend it. Thank you so much for your time and attention. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I will answer them. And if you would like to have a conversation, send me an email and we can talk on the phone, and I would be glad to answer any questions you might have.